here you go. Here's what a porch kind of looks like. See how it's it's just an extension of the home. Whereas a deck, which, these both are very beautiful. A deck actually is an extension of the home, but it is not really a part of the home. And and they have different purposes. For instance, on a deck, you barbecue and things like this, but on a porch, I don't think it's a very good idea to be doing a whole lot of barbecuing, really. But they're not even made for that. That's not what they're for. And actually, we don't really have but really small porches in the back of the house. Back in my day and before my day, we had summertime porches. What that meant is actually during the heat of the summer, the family would all go out on a screened-in porch at the back of the house and sleep. But they was mostly screened in because of the mosquitoes or bugs and whatnot. But really, we don't see much of that anymore. Well, now that we have air conditioning, thank goodness. But on decks actually come around the early 20th century, and they was kind of a prestige kind of emblem. If you had a deck, everybody kind of had a porch, but if you had a deck, the decks actually were something to show you that you got good money. You got extra money to spend, and it's a place like an extension of a playground, and actually a lot of times we do see them like that, like a playground for the children to play on especially when it's snowy or wet outside. I've even seen on decks, which we built specifically to lake it for a glorified area for the children to go play. Not babies necessarily, but that is why we talk about, which we're going to talk a little bit about that. Now, a lot of these things I'm going to be talking about is what we're looking for decks to be where we're out and safety issues. We're not really going to go into codes or anything with that today, because what you might have built before would not be code today, but it would be grandfathered in. I have been in the construction business for almost 50 years. I hate saying that because it makes me feel really, really old. But we just love building decks, but we built them for many types of applications. And what we built, that's for play, for the little children to play, or a place for the doggies to go play, out there on the porch, so they wouldn't have to necessarily run off. And they wouldn't be able to get down and get away. But because we built them that way then, they're not to code today. Not that we did anything wrong, not that anybody did anything wrong. It's just that that's how we learned how to do it, and the evolution of decking is still continuing. And for instance, when we'll get on to the decks and the porches and such, and the safety issues. But decks actually, so we've had some in our evolution of growing and learning how to put decks together. We've had some really, really bad disasters. We've had decks fall off homes. We've had decks collapse. I think that it was everybody in the United States of America and Canada will probably remember when in St. Louis, well, actually it was Wentzville, Missouri, when we had the Grateful Dead concert and everybody got up on the deck and it collapsed and several people were killed. Well, codes really got strict about that time, and so did stuff like Deck Awareness Month. So that's why we want to make sure that we are in good shape. And here we go. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do, because this is some really great information. All right, here we go. The history of decks, I kind of just went through that, but this is a good looking deck. See how that is? And people, we live out there on our decks. People put hot tubs out there, and you can do any of it. We don't really put hot tubs on porches, but you can, but most of the time we don't. So what are we going to look at? Let's start. I'm a simple guy. I believe, and as a building engineer, I always look from the ground up. Can't help myself, because if you don't have a good structure, you don't have a good support base, you don't have anything. It all builds from the ground up.